Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany Janae, and in today's video, we're going to talk about the judge who handcuffed the teenage girl and threatened jail time. Insane. Let's get into it. Alright, y'all, so I wanted to come on here and talk about the judge that I want to say was in Detroit, Michigan, right? Oops, excuse me. Detroit, Michigan, where he was basically, I'm going to say, overstepping his boundaries and power, and was having an ego trip and like belittled and shamed and threatened a 15-year-old girl who's already for falling asleep in his courtroom, right? And so the big issue that sticks out to me is the fact that, you know, this is a girl who was on a field trip, and this was an educational field trip where she was supposed to foster a familiar relationship with the judicial system in the sense of trying to see how it works, like looking at the attorneys, whether it be, you know, the plaintiff and the defendant or whatever, you know, and the judge, just seeing how the courtroom works, right? The court reporter, the bailiff, like just seeing the key components, an educational field trip learning experience. You know, that probably, you know, has traumatized this girl for the rest of her life. Let's just talk about it. So I'm going to watch. So there was an interview. So apparently the judge did an interview, and I'm going to like watch that and react to it. But the mom also spoke up, of course, as she should have, right? After all of this occurred. And she said that, you know, her teenage daughter basically, you know, was sleepy because mom is a single mom of 2 children. And at this time, they are, I want to say that she said that they don't necessarily have a stable home. I believe they might be like hopping from home to home or something like that. We're going to get into it. I just think this is just terrible. I'm going to give my opinion. I've already gave some of my opinion, but we're going to watch this together. And I'm going to give you my opinion on what I feel like where the judge went wrong.
A field trip to his courtroom. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Carolyn Clifford. 7 News Detroit broke the story 24 hours ago. Well, tonight, the teen's mom says she did not know what happened until we started digging. Her 15-year-old daughter fell asleep, and the judge felt compelled to teach her a lesson. Well, now the story is making national headlines. The entire country is talking about how the girl ended up in handcuffs and a jail uniform. 7 News Detroit reporter Ruta Olsonida is following up tonight as the teen's mom sounds off.
That mom says she was horrified to see her daughter in handcuffs and says Judge King didn't have the full story.
Would you want someone to treat your child like that? Would you even treat your child like that if he fell asleep in the courtroom?
Latoria Hill is a single mother of 2 children, including her oldest daughter, Eva Goodman. She signed her up for a summer program with the Greening of Detroit nonprofit to keep her busy. What was supposed to be an educational field trip to 36th District Court Tuesday turned into a traumatizing experience for both of them. Judge Kenneth King not liking Eva's attitude and seeing her falling asleep, placing her in handcuffs and a jail uniform.
I'm thinking maybe she needs to go to the juvenile detention facility. You do understand that we have a jail for kids.
Latoria says Eva was falling asleep because the family does not have a permanent residence at the moment. They're just trying to make ends meet.
To belittle her in front of the whole world and her friends, to make her even feel more worse about our situation. I'm a single mother. I'm trying my best. I'm doing everything that I can.
You sleep at home in your bed, not in court.
So the fact that he was talking about you go home and get in your bed, how do you know my baby got a home? How do you know my baby got a bed, her own bed that she could sleep in? She don't have that right now. So she was tired.
We spoke to Judge King Tuesday, who stands by his actions to discipline the child after showing him, quote, attitude.
So do I have any reservations? Do I think I was heavy-handed in what I did? No, I don't, because I'll do whatever it needs to be done to reach these kids to make sure that they don't end up in front of me. So that was my own version of scared straight.
You didn't scare nobody straight. You made a parent upset. You scared my child. She was nervous, didn't even know how to act. She'd never been inside no courtroom.
Latoria, frustrated with how this was all handled, removed Eva from the summer program and stands up for her daughter now after she couldn't stand up for her in that courtroom.
And my baby been struggling, and she been held on tight. She been going to school. She get good grades. She don't give me no problems.
Judge King has offered to mentor the girl. The family says they are not interested. In Detroit, I'm Ruda Olsen-Ida, 7 News Detroit.
All right, thank you so much, Ruda.
All right, so y'all just watched that. And so as an officer of the court, right, and understanding how the courtroom is set up and understanding judges, such as lawyers, have a code of conduct that we have to follow: ethics, legal ethics, professionalism, understanding all of that, right? And in that moment, I feel like the judge was overstepping his boundaries and exerting excessive power against a young teenage girl who is easily intimidated, already has a lot going on. And the judge may not have known that, right, that she has a lot going on. But if a teenage girl is falling asleep repeatedly in your courtroom, you have to wonder if something going on in her personal life where she cannot stay awake. And I don't think that he, really took the time to think through that process before he embarrassed her, handcuffed her, and put her I think she was in prison clothes. That's embarrassing to a teenage girl. And who knows what her ACEs score is if she was to take a test? Who knows what that would be, right? Being that her mom said they are not in a stable home at this time and she may not have a bed to go and sleep in at night. And like he probably didn't know that ahead of time. I don't know what this program that she was in, but the judge may or may not have known that. But regardless if you knew that information or not, you have to understand from an adult thinking, right? This is a young girl. You don't want to put her in a situation to cause trauma. I don't care if she was giving you attitude. This is a 15-year-old girl. And so you're saying this is your version of beyond scared straight? No, that was inappropriate, beyond measures. And you as a judge have to uphold the integrity of the legal profession and of the bench. And I don't think you did that in that manner. And he has no remorse, and he stands on business of what he said he did, right? And I get you don't want to see this young lady, this young girl in your courtroom. So you're trying to do tactics to prevent her from being in a situation, letting her know like how it feels, right? But that wasn't an appropriate punishment. Like, this is a situation where the punishment doesn't fit what she didn't do was a crime, but the punishment that she received did not fit the behavior that she portrayed in your courtroom. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe you should have had a conversation with her during recess or off the bench and just talk to all of the kids, and maybe had your law clerk I'm sure you have a law clerk, but your law clerk could have said, hey, Judge, I think his name is Judge Kenneth or something like that, Kenneth King something. The judge wants to speak with you, and you could have had a conversation like, hey, young lady, I noticed you were falling asleep in the courtroom. I'm just checking to make sure is everything okay with what you have going on in your life. If you're sleepy, he could have even said I don't know, right? But he could have even offered her to take a nap in his chambers, like, hey, I have a chair, a couch, whatever. If you need to rest or relax, you can. And then when you are refreshed or you feel rejuvenated a little better, you can come back into the courtroom. Could have had a conversation with her. That would have made her feel a lot better. But now she's probably leaving this situation with not having, her first time probably being in a courtroom, I think her mom said, and she's had a negative experience with the judicial system already, and this is supposed to be an educational time to teach her about how the judicial system is. And I mean, we already know the system is a little, it's messed up. And so it's messed up that was her first-hand experience, because you don't know, this young lady might have wanted to be an attorney, might have wanted to be a judge, might have wanted to be, in the justice system in some sort of way. And you have probably crushed those dreams or disgusted her in such a way that she no longer have those aspirations to do that, right? Or you could have inspired her in a way that would have made her want to be a judge one day, because Lord knows we need more Black judges, right? But I would say all skin folk and kin folks, but hoping that they are, we need more representation in the legal community all across the board when it comes to judges and lawyers, right? And so I just find it unfortunate that her experience was ruined, basically. And now we have a young lady who is traumatized for, I don't even want to say for the rest of her life, but has trauma, and she's already dealing with trauma, right? Just not having a stable home, right? A stable living environment, that's trauma. And commending her because her mom said that her grades are still good and all. Like a stand-up student, who has to face adversity, right? And still excel and come out on top, and then have to be faced with this and the embarrassment. And so I know there's been some conversations like, oh, she needs to sue, what can be done? And I know people have been throwing out like intentional infliction of emotional distress. I'm not gonna get that deep into it. But I would say for the state that I'm in, for like intentional infliction of emotional distress, it really has to be some sort of strong reaction to the trauma that the person sustained, and the person who caused that trauma knew or should have known that was going to cause some sort of lifelong trauma, right? And this person might have had to go to therapy, and she may have to go to therapy. The young girl did not do an interview. I don't know if she's spoken up or anything, so we don't know. But I know her mom said that she is traumatized from the situation, and it's just unfortunate. Now, the judge has been temporarily removed from the bench. I'm not sure for how long, but I think it's for the purposes of doing some training. And as he should, right? I think that is the appropriate punishment for this situation, to remove him from the bench and to put him in some sort of training. Thank God he's not a juvenile judge. At least I don't think he's a juvenile judge. I went and looked up his credentials, and he's been on the bench since about 2006, I want to say, and he does primarily criminal court stuff. But I do know judges have duty weeks, and maybe he's taking on some juvenile matters. But it's just the fact, where's the compassion? And I just don't agree with his method of the beyond scared straight, because I don't think that tactic worked at all. Go back to the drawing board, sir. I hope you learned something in training and learn from this experience. I heard he was receiving death threats. I don't think he should be receiving death threats or anything like that. That is totally wrong, but I do feel like he needs to be taken off the bench and do some sort of training. And it just, unfortunately, we have judges that have ego trips on the bench all the time, and like they are big on the whole respect thing. Like, you're not about to come in my courtroom and disrespect me. A good bit of them think that way. Like, you're not about to come up in here and feel like you're gonna, especially if they've been on the bench for a while, they gonna let you know they've been on the bench for a while, and you're gonna know who to play with and who not to play with. It ain't the judge. It happens more often than not. And I done seen a lot of crazy stuff. I got stories for days, right? But we're not gonna get into it in this video. But I do think it's unfortunate for the young lady. I hope she comes. I know she's gonna come out on top for this, because just based on how well her mom spoke about her, she is gonna come out on top. And I just, hope they get the justice that they need. But I think this is a step forward with him being removed from the bench and to receive the training. And before I end this, he wants to be mentor to the young lady. Now, why would you say, why would she want you to be her mentor if you've already shown your character, the type of person that you are towards her? You know what I'm saying? It just came off very nasty and very rude. The way that you responded to this young lady falling asleep, you should have exercised with compassion first, sir. Compassion can go a long way. But I understand we are human. We all make mistakes. He probably, had the right, his heart might have been in the right space. I don't know. If he said he's trying to prevent these kids from being in his courtroom, right? His heart might have been in the right place, but his mind wasn't, because that was crazy. I don't know why you thought that was appropriate, sir. But sometimes you be in court all day long, you get caught up in all the drama, and you're a little crazy. The energy is, a little rah-rah. And, you just sometimes judges do crazy things, and sometimes judges are completely wrong. And sir, in this instance, you are wrong. You are so wrong. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Until next time, bye.